Hi, squeaky door, hold on. Hi, we've been told 24 frames per second is the best way to film all our footage if we want cinematic results. That's not my experience so far. I scoured the internet, did some research. There's one thing left to do. I did a test. I think I'm changing. Watch the video to find out why. I'm near Warwick Castle. There's no restrictions on the airspace, so we're going to take off from a public space, see if we get some good shots. And you can tell me if you think this is better footage than I normally do. I think we have to process it the right way as well. Not that you're going to hear this with a drone, but turns out they got some music tonight. Okay, we need the right video settings, so we want to be in manual. I've put an ND filter on. 24 frames per second at 4K.
Point has been updated. Please check it on the map.
Decently light 2.64. We'll leave it in MP4.
Please check it on the map.
There we go. The ISO is too high now. Let's get that ISO down. We should be 1/50th. The shutter is twice the speed of the frames per second. So let's just start recording. Little bit of footage. I don't think it'll be enough though. Kind of had the right settings. What was quite interesting was as the sun went down, those ND filters need changing quick. But I didn't really get the gold now. I think I had the gold in 10 minutes. Yeah, that little blackbird up there. Hello. Trying to talk to his mates. Ah, right. And I've run out of light, I think, to go and do chest and windmill or something cool to show you. So let's walk back to the car. Okay, so I decided to head out a couple of days later, check out chest and windmill. I know it's nice and quiet. Get some more 24 frame per second footage. See what you think. Okay, ignore the shades. This is going to be a race against time. Because it says it's going to rain in 20 odd minutes. Every time I try and get the drone out at the minute, it says it's going to rain. There you go. Right, sun's behind me, let's get the exposure right. Sun's coming out. You know it's going to be too bright now. So what does all that mean? Well, certainly after editing the Chesterton windmill footage at 24 frames per second and the footage from Warwick Castle when the concert was on at 24 frames per second in a sequence that's 24 frames per second, I'm just not finding it doesn't flow very well. So Jeven Dovey's channel's really good. He's got a YouTube video up that's about 2 years old, I think, 24 FPS or 30 FPS, and he has some results in his testing. I've watched all sorts of recommendations in YouTube and I decided to do my own test. So I'd recommend, it's always worth doing this yourself. It's great for learning anyway. So my summary of 24 frames per second is, I think it's got its limitations and issues, especially when flying drones, when the drone's moving and things on the ground are moving. I don't think there's quite enough frames per second. The next video I filmed at 30 frames per second I've sequenced and edited it at 30 frames per second and exported it at 30 frames per second. So the next video will be really nice and compact. Please watch that video, compare that, regardless of how nice Warwick Castle is, how nice the footage is, and seeing the horses entering the jousting ring and all the rest of it. But have a look at how smooth the footage is and how well it flows, and just compare that to the little sort of cinematic reels I tried to do in this one, and just see which one you prefer. Now, if you prefer the other one, that has been filmed at 30 frames per second. So I'll see you on the other video, and we'll see what the results are soon.